Hello, St. Peter's. Welcome back for another fun summer reading adventure. We are on adventure number 13. Can you believe it? We've been having a lot of fun, haven't we, guys? We're in my backyard again. We have Ralph, Magic Monkey, Daisy. Our Pig of Joy is here with the Jar of Joy, so we can spread our joy when we are all through with our adventures today. Would you like to see what I have in my adventure pack? Me too. Let's see what we have today. I have my water bottle, of course. It's getting really hot this week, but I love that sunshine. A paper plate, some colored paper. We'll use that later, that's for sure. And here's my book. I have a book today that, guess what? I didn't even find it. My mom found it and she bought it for me. And after I read it, I knew I needed to share it with all of you. I think you're really gonna like it. I had never heard of it before I got this last week. And so I think most of you haven't heard the story either. So I'm hoping that this is a new adventure for all of us and we can all have a new favorite story. Would you like to get ready? How about you guys? All right, let's get ready for our book. Let's turn up our ears so we're ready to listen. Turn off our mouths so we don't make a sound. Put your hands quietly in your lap. Take a nice big deep breath. And now we're ready for our story. This book is even cool in the way that you open it. So here's how you usually open a book, right? But this book, we have to turn on its side. Isn't that cool? It is called Mel Fell, and our author is Corey R. Tabor. Do you suppose this might be Mel? Little bird. So it's perfect for outdoors. Look, and Mel was in a tree with some squirrels. I see a spider. We have a big tree right behind us too. Maybe we'll see a bird while we read our story. Let's see how Mel fell. So in this book, you're going to notice, I'm going to turn the pages going up. Isn't that cool? Mel fell. Here we go. One day, when Mama was away, Mel decided it was time to learn to fly. She had been in the nest long enough. "Aren't you scared?" asked Sister Pim. "Yes," said Mel, "but I won't let that stop me." Oh, let's see how brave Mel looks. Mel looks pretty determined. She looked down. "Oh, it sure is a long drop," said her brother Pip. "Well," said Mel, "I've got wings." Mel was scared, and it was a long drop. But today was the day she would fly. This is exciting. "See you soon," she told her siblings. She jumped, she flipped, she spread her wings, and then she fell. Oh boy, she's not flying. She's falling. Mel fell and fell. And who do we have here? Look, a mama owl with her babies. They look surprised to see Mel falling past them. The squirrels tried to catch her. They really did. They'd grown quite fond of those squeaky little chirpers upstairs. "Blast! Oh, nuts! Oof! Aye!" Oh, but it was no use. They missed her by a whisker. Oh, they tried to grab her all the way down. Didn't work. "Zoo-zazoo," said the bees. Oh, but they barely slowed her down. Tried to get her. We will save you! They're trying. Look at that. Grabbing onto her feet. Even the spider lent a hand. 8 of them, because a spider has 8 legs. But it didn't work. Look what happened. The fly says, I'm free! He got out of the web when it broke. Oh, but still Mel fell. Oh, do not fear, helpless little bird. I will catch you. That's a slug. But slugs are very slow. Here come some ants. Do you think they can reach her? They didn't quite reach her. She's still falling. Oh no! The ladybug couldn't help either. Oh, her eyes are getting really big. Look. I think she's getting close to the ground. I hope she doesn't crash. Splash! Whew. Good thing there was water down there. She splashed right into the water. Mel dived into the water. She snapped her beak and caught a fat little fish. It says turn the book. We're going to keep turning. She kicked her legs. She wiggled her tail feathers. She spread her wings. And then up here it says this way. Now we're going to turn the pages down. She flew. We need to see that again. Wait a second. Let's go back to the splash page. She splashed, right? And we turn our page up like we've been doing. So then when she dove in here, if we follow her, she caught her fish underwater. She's swimming back up to the surface. So we turned our book all the way around. So now it's upside down. And then, if I can get the page turned, she flew. So now we're going up. Let's see what happens next. Oh, look at that. Mel flew and flew. Look how excited the ants are. They're trying to run after her. Get her. The slug is excited. Whoop, look at the fish's eyes. It's like, uh-oh, I'm in trouble. As Mel flew by, the spider clapped her hands, all 8 of them. And look what she wrote in her web. Yay! The spider's excited. What about those bees? The bees said, huzzah, huzzah! They're excited. What about those squirrels? The squirrels raced her to the top. And the owls are watching. They're zooming up. Who's gonna win? Mama was waiting when she got there. I flew, said Mel. And look, when she started talking, look what fell out of her mouth. The fish. And the fish is saying, I'm flying, I'm flying. Do you think that fish is really flying? No. Hopefully she lands back in the water. I knew you could, said Mama. I knew I could too, said Mel. And then we hear the slug. Do not fear, helpless little fish. I will catch you. Splash. Did the slug catch the fish? No, but don't worry, fish can swim. It landed back in the pond. And Mama is hugging little Mel. How cool is that? Then they're going to tell us about Mel. Let's learn what kind of bird she is. It says, this is an author's note. So sometimes at the end of a book, the author will write a little something about why they wrote the book or some more facts about the animals in this case. It says Mel is a kingfisher. Kingfishers catch fish by diving into the water from the tree branches or wires. Many kingfishers nest in tunnels they dig in earthen banks near water. Oh, so they could rest by the water. While others nest in tree hollows, and some even live in old termite nests. Termites are bugs that eat wood. A young kingfisher probably doesn't catch a fish the first time they leave the nest. But then, Mel is a very special bird. Isn't that sweet? How cool is that? So when we started our book, we started turning the pages up to watch her falling down, right? And then, maybe, by the end of the book, our book was turned this way to watch her going back up. I thought that was so amazing. I wanted to make sure to share it with you. Mel Fell. Isn't that sweet? And I love how she was a little bit scared, but she was going to try anyway. So she tried to be brave even though she was scared. Pretty cool, Mel. She caught a fish and she flew all in the same day. How would you like to make a bird kind of like Mel? It can look like Mel if you want it to, but it doesn't have to. Would you like to see what mine looks like? Mine's kind of colored like Mel is. Here's my bird. See, it could dive down. Try to catch a fish and come back up. You can make it fly. It's on both sides. It has wings and some tail feathers. Kind of like Mel. All right, would you like to see how to make it? Excellent. We are going to start with our favorite thing, a paper plate. So all you need today is a paper plate, then some other paper. I am using some colored paper. If you don't have colored paper, construction paper, you can use plain white paper. And if you want to make it colorful, just use your markers or your crayons and color it, right? So I'm using that. I am going to use a stapler today. If you don't have a stapler, you can always use tape. Don't worry, okay? You can use tape. You can use a glue stick. I'm going to use a glue stick too to put my beak on. So here is what we're going to do. I have to get out my supplies, right? I'm going to get out my pencil. So get a pencil so we can draw our bird shape to cut out. Then you're going to need some scissors. And today I'm going to use some of my markers, not all, just a couple colors. So I have like 4 colors of markers and my glue stick, okay? And here is how we do it. Put this aside. First, you're going to take your paper plate and fold it in half. It doesn't matter if the bumps go down or not. Just fold it in half. And then open it back up. And that fold right there is where you are going to cut your plate in half. Okay? Just going to cut right on the fold. All the way up. If I can do it with my short little scissors, I know you can do it with yours too. Okay, so we cut our paper plate in half. Now is when you need your pencil. The top part is the top part of our bird, okay, the flat edge. But as you can see, we need a little bit of a head that's different than the belly. So at the top, let's see if you can see where this is. Might be easier if we draw it on this side. So at the top, see how we have, it already gives us this curve right here? That's gonna be our bird's belly. So to make the head, just start up by that curve at the top, take your pencil, and you're just gonna draw a little bloop like that, okay? Kind of like a sideways smile. If I turned it, that would be a smile. So then after you make your head shape, you're just gonna bring it down to where that circle is, and you'll trace that all the way back up. So that gives you a bird. Now, if you want your head to be a little longer, you could go outside of that circle, make it longer, and follow it like that. Let's try that. How about that one instead? So we're gonna erase that first line so you don't get confused when we're cutting. Sometimes it happens. I kind of like it better if they have a little bit of a longer neck, and then trace the belly right along the curve of the paper plate. I'm gonna find my scissors again. Okay, so then you're gonna cut that out. Right along, where are you? Where you just traced. I'm gonna try to follow it for you on my, there we go. Okay, see that? Now, your shape is your bird. So if it's a little bit different than mine, don't worry about it. I've seen a lot of different birds in my yard. They're all shaped a little bit differently. Okay, so you can kind of, oh, I have to cut, see how I missed the line right there? So I'm just gonna go back and I'm gonna cut that line because that'll give me a better head shape, okay? You might need to cut. So if you need to go back and trim it up, that's okay. So now my bird looks like that. It's got a head, pretty cool, right? Now if you have any pencil lines, I have a little bit like there. I'm just gonna use my pencil and erase it so that when I put the face on and color it, you won't notice it as much because it's a two-sided bird, okay? That's step one. Then you're gonna take your scissors. Now, you might need a grown-up to help you do this part, okay? Because as you can see on my bird, its wings go through its body. So there's actually a slit in the bird. So in order to do that, you don't need anything sharp. You can use your safety scissors, but you're going to have to bend your bird just a little bit and right in the middle of his body, make a little snip, okay? Now, once you do that, it might not be long enough, but then you'll be able to stick your scissors in and make it just a little bit bigger, but don't go too big or else your papers will fall out. And then as you put your paper in there, if it's too wide, you can always make your slit a little bit longer. So that's it, just a little slit in your bird. Okay, I think mine's long enough. Then you're going to color this bird. Now I kind of made mine look a little bit like Mel. If you see, Mel is blue on the top and has like a reddish pinkish belly. So I kind of did that, but you don't have to. Those are just the colors that I have today. So I'm going to show you backed up against this blue so you can see what it looks like as I color. Now when I used my color for the feathers, I opened my marker. I didn't go all the way into the head. I left my head a little bit white, but I kind of put a little point there. So I put like a point of feathers there, and then I just started going like this. Because I feel like if I was a bird and I had feathers, that's what they would look like, right? It's not going to be super smooth because it's a bird, so you got to see if you can notice all the feathers. If you wanted to make your feathers more looking like feathers, you could make little like triangles like that and kind of overlap them, kind of like little V's. You could do that, or you could just do this. Now at the bottom, I don't want to get the whole belly, so I kind of can make an arc like that, so I know I'm not going to put any blue below that. And I'm just going to keep filling it in with my little strokes like that, or my little V's like that. It's your bird however you want. You may want to use more than one color, right? Just like that. So then on the back, because we have two sides of our bird, we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to give her a little triangle peak just to make it a little fancy on her head. And then make my underbelly so I don't go too far. And then make my feather streaks. Oh, this time I'm using the fatter part of my marker. That's kind of cool too. You can experiment, try different things on different sides. I don't want to get it on my book, so I'm being very careful in using this paper underneath. Now you're not going to color on your book because you're going to have a table to use, okay? So now I have the blue body colored on both sides. I don't know where my lid went. Oh, here it is. And now I'm going to put that pinkish reddish belly like Mel had. Let's look at Mel again. Okay. Now, once again, remember, you don't have to have the same colors. So for the belly, I made it a little more solid because the belly looks a little smoother to me. So maybe the feathers on the belly are finer and they're harder to notice the detail of the feathers. But if you still want to do little triangles, you can. Okay, I'm just going to do it up like this. Now on this bird, I didn't do this, but I think I'm going to give Mel a little cheek because she kind of has that little cheek thing going on right there, right? So I'm going to make a little pink circle there for her cheek. I don't know, just something different. So then I'm going to flip her over and give her that pink belly over here, pinkish reddish belly on this side. Now we're not making legs for this bird, even though birds have legs. When they're flying or diving, they usually tuck their legs up into their body so you don't really see them. So since we're not going to see them, we're not going to put legs on. But if you want to, you can always do that. Okay, next, I need a beak. We don't have anything here for a beak, but guess what we do have? We have some scraps from our paper plate, right? So take your pencil. You can either use a point that's already there, or if that's kind of tricky for you, like since this point is already here, I can use that flat side there and then make a triangle off of that point. I just drew a tiny little triangle. Or you can draw a triangle anywhere on that plate. But remember, it's just going to be small, a small skinny little triangle. So while it's there on your plate, you can color one side of it anyway, okay, where you drew it. And then on the back, even though on the back you didn't draw the triangle, you can color the back side yellow. I actually have, you know what I'm going to do? What I noticed? I drew it where I had pencil markings. So I don't want to do that. I want a whole clean piece of my paper for my beak. I don't want any pencil markings on it. So I'm going to draw it here because the back then is clean. We're going to do it again. So I'm just going to color that in because it's hard to color when it's so tiny after you cut it out. And then on the back, you can see where you drew your triangle. Just color that area yellow, and it can be bigger than you think it needs to be so that when you cut it out, it's already yellow for you. Watch, I'll show you. So now on the front side, you're going to cut out the triangle right around the pencil marks that you made. Now it's very small, I know, because this is a small bird. The small bird has a small beak, but as I do it, you'll notice that the back is already colored because I already colored it, front and back. You're going to take that tiny little beak and you're going to attach it to your bird. I need to get my glue stick. All my things are down here, but they're kind of rolling away. I pulled out my glue stick before. I thought, oh, here it is. Now, this is so tiny. Uh-oh. Oh, here it is. I thought I lost my beak. This beak is so tiny, and you only need it on the wide, flat side of your triangle. I would just put it on top of the glue stick like this to get a little bit of glue on. Just one side, that's all you need. So now the glue's on the bottom of my glue stick, and I'm gonna stick it to the front part of my bird, sticking out. So it's stuck on that side, but you can still see it over there, right? Now, she needs an eye. I'm just gonna give her a little black eye circle, like that, and a little black circle on this side, like that. If you want to give her a smile, you can. I'm gonna leave her just like that. Now, for the wings and the tail. All right, she looks pretty cool already. Here's what we're gonna do. I just have a square. It's not a whole big piece of paper, it's just part of it, like about 1/4 of it. So cut it in half and cut it in half again, and that's how much you'll use. It's okay if they're a little bit longer. Then we're gonna fold it just like if you ever made a paper fan. If you haven't, that's okay. I'm gonna show you right now. So you're gonna take it and fold it down just a little bit, put a crease in it. Then you're gonna turn it over and fold it down again, the same width as you did before. See that? So that's what it looks like, 2 folds. Then flip your paper over with all your folding sides always at the top. Fold it down, make it tight. Flip it over. We're gonna keep doing this until we get all the way down to the bottom of our paper. it looks like we have one more. We're gonna flip it over and go like that. And these are going to be our wings. So now if you pinch it in the middle and kind of swoop these up open a little bit on this side, swoop them open on this side, those are your wings, okay? So you're gonna wanna flatten one back down again. I just wanted to show you. And remember that little slit we made? You're gonna stick your feathers through there. Now my slit is not wide enough, so I'm gonna have to cut it a little bit wider. It's okay, just put your scissors back in, give it one little snip more, and then you're going to, very carefully, because you don't wanna rip your bird. You know what? My slit is still not long enough. I'm being so careful so that it doesn't get too long. I'm almost being too careful. Okay, so in the slit, we're gonna stick, see? I put it in this side, comes through this side. And then you push it till it gets to the middle, just like that. And now you have your wings. It'll hold it pretty tightly. Okay, and you can adjust them however you want. If you want them to go up, you can bend your paper up a little bit. If you want them to go down, you can bend your paper down a little bit. Pretty neat. Now we need some tail feathers. We're gonna do the same thing, and I used an even smaller square of red, but it's totally up to you, however long you want your tail feathers to be. We're going to do the same thing. You're gonna fold it down a little bit. Flip your paper over. Fold it down a little bit. Keep on going. Keep on flipping and keep on folding till you get to the end. All right? But this time, because we want her feathers to be on both sides, you're going to take your scissors and just cut it in half. Zoop. Okay? Because that way you'll put one half on this side and one half on this side. So she'll have tail feathers on both sides. That's where I'm going to use, well, I'm going to show you both ways. So you could use a stapler, right? Staple it on like that. If you don't have a stapler, you can use a glue stick. So the same thing, you're just going to put it on the one end because the other feathers will be sticking off. Put glue on one end and stick it on the bird. Just like that. So it's one on one side, one on the other side, and then, especially if you glued it, pinch it at the body, and then you can open it up a little bit. But you want to pinch it at the body so you don't rip them off by accident. But guess what? If you rip them off, you're just going to stick them right back on. And there you have it. You have your own Mel who could go diving to catch a fish. Some of you made fish from our fish out of water story. Maybe she could catch that fish. And that's how you made Mel from Mel Fell. Remember, you can always use any colors you want and name your bird anything you like. But if you make a bird, I would love to see it. So when you do, make sure you take a picture and put it in the comments so I can see your amazing bird. That'd be awesome. All right, whew, that was a lot of work, but I'm so happy to make it because it was a really cool project. Let's spread some joy. You ready, Joy? It is your turn. How are we going to spread some joy today? On this hot, sunshiny day. You can bring someone a glass of lemonade. That would be a good thing to do. Oh, this one keeps popping up this summer. Maybe we're not thinking about them often enough. Call your grandparents. I know we've done it before, but they will enjoy a phone call from you no matter when you tell them. Maybe you could tell them about the Mel Fell story and how cool that book was and make them one of these birds. That would be a great way to spread some joy, don't you think? I think so. Thanks, Joy. We're going to call our grandparents today. All right, let's put that back up there. Joy's going to set back up there because we have one more thing we need to do. Get up there, Joy. We need to fill out our summer reading adventure log. Did you guys see that cat go behind me? I saw her. Her name is Socks. If you missed it, check it out. Rewind and see if you can see Socks behind me. She walked right past us. All right, remember, I don't look and I don't see what color I'm gonna pull out. What's it gonna be today? Ooh, a gray color. So let's open it up. Ooh, look at how much my caterpillar's getting filled up. So, I haven't used this gray color for a long time. So we're gonna color in that circle. Remember, you can use any color you want. As long as you fill it in, you can decorate it, make it fancy, give it a smiley face, whatever you'd like to do. We better count and see how many amazing adventures we've had. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We've done 13 summer reading adventures. Our summer reading adventure only has 3 more to go. Can you believe it? Well, I can't wait to see what adventures we're gonna have for the rest of our time here this summer. That was really fun, boys and girls. I hope you enjoyed it too. Remember, you're gonna cool off. Always have your water. When you need to cool off, go make a little Mel in the shade or inside. Send me a picture of it. And don't forget to call your grandparents. Okay? That's all I have for today. So until next time, boys and girls, don't forget, keep spreading your joy.